98% of startups never clear the OECD's 20% annual growth bar. The OECD calls scale-ups firms above 10 employees 20% annual growth. As of 2024, under 2% of global companies sustain that growth. Most startups hit 1M ARR then plateau, trapped in founder-led chaos. They confuse revenue spikes with true scale, a lethal mistake. Scale means repeating playbooks, not repeating founder miracles. Only enterprises with systematic growth engines survive the 3-year drought. Forget vanity metrics. Growth rate above 20% annually defines winners. VCs won't write checks if you can't hit those basic thresholds. You're not an entrepreneur if you haven't mastered the fundamentals. This isn't Silicon Valley marketing fluff. It's a survival barrier. You need more than ambition. You need a reproducible growth formula. Chapter 1 is clear. Scale demands discipline, metrics, and ruthless focus. If you can't describe your growth algorithm, you'll die by iteration. Brace yourself. We're diving into the math and real-world playbooks. To scale from 1M to $100 ARR, follow T2D3. Triple twice, double 3 times. Salesforce and Zoom used T2D3 to skyrocket revenue in under 5 years. Year 1, triple your $1 to $3 million through enterprise pilot deals. Year 2, triple $3 million, locking in repeatable sales cycles. Year 3, double 9M to $18 million by expanding ARR and key accounts. Year 4, double $18.36 million, adding upsells and cross-sales. Year 5, double 36 men to 72 while optimizing pricing and packaging. Actual path hits $72, but TD3 projections aim at 100 plus ARR. Zoom accelerated deals via freemium and remote-first GTM model in 2019. Salesforce built its flywheel with app exchange and subscription renewals. Data shows repeatable funnel trumps founder charisma every time. Stop hiring SDRs before nailing your ICP and sales playbook. VC decks love T2D3 forecasts. It's the shorthand for hypergrowth. But blind faith in projections kills when churn spikes above 5%. Next, we'll examine the new VC playbook enforcing efficient growth. 2024 VC data demands the rule of 40, growth rate plus profit margin above 40%. Series C and beyond won't fund meteor burn without net profit discipline. SaaS multiples peaked at 25x in 2021, now compressed to 6-8x. Your net burn multiple must fall under 1.5x. No excuses. CHAC payback clock, now 12 months or bust. Thank rising interest rates. Investors see long payback as capital inefficient luxury. Cut budgets to match. McKinsey warns growth at all costs is dead. Efficiency is survival. Look to European scale-ups. They added over 50% of SME net jobs, and they did it while living under 6x valuation multiples. Net revenue retention rules the day. Churn kill switch is account expansion. Snowflake IPO hit 158% NR. Existing accounts fueled the rocket. Slack at IPO barely scratched 20 NRR. That gap matters at scale. Superscalers reinvest 20% more gross profit into R&D, per McKinsey. Your board will now demand product R&D spend to justify scaled growth. Coming up, automation and infrastructure are the next battlegrounds. Gartner research shows 80% of scaling orgs integrate generative AI to automate workflows. They aim to cut BEX by 30% by 2026 through AI-driven efficiency. Stripe processed over 1 trillion payment volume in 2023, a 25% YOY boost. Every extra million in volume slashes marginal transaction costs through the flywheel. Digital twins will underpin physical scaling by 2026 in 75% of Global 2000 firms. IDC predicts a 15% average throughput improvement with digital twins per region. Morgan Stanley says 5G and IoT industrial scaling will add 1 won to GDP. From single-site prototypes to global automated factories, that's the future. Your ops org must evolve from manual tasks to AI-first command centers. Forget manual dashboards. Real-time AI insights move markets and cut headcount. Databricks hit $1.6 billion revenue for fiscal year ending January 2024, 50% growth. Their secret, convergence of data engineering and generative AI at enterprise scale. This infrastructure juggernaut dwarfs any single process optimization you can sell. But tech debt can anchor you before you hit critical scale velocity. Next, we'll dissect the most dangerous gap-stopping pilot programs. BCG data warns, 70% of digital transformations never scale beyond pilot. Technical debt and founder-led sales kill 3-year growth trajectories. You build prototypes like an artist, but need engines like a factory. Founder-led sales won't survive 50 reps. You need a GTM machine. Transition to repeatable GTM before your CAC spirals out of control. Communication tax slashes team efficiency by 25% once you exceed 50 people. You will feel meetings multiplying and decisions grinding to a halt. Formal decentralized structures avoid the death spiral of middle management. Look to Netflix's 2008 pivot, loosely coupled teams with high context. They scaled near zero churn with small autonomous squads. HubSpot's ROI engine centered on repurposable content and analytics dashboards. No matter your tech, scaling stops at the human friction line. Data shows processes break down when headcount hits mid-double digits. That's why your org design matters as much as your product roadmap. Next, superscaler habits and final sobering forecast. Superscalers reinvest 20% more gross profit into R&D and intangibles per McKinsey. That extra 20% turns incremental features into strategic moats. Snowflake rode 158% NRR at IPO. They expanded accounts, not just customers. Slack and Workday stalled with NRR below 140% at IPO. Databricks drives 50% revenue growth by marrying data engineering with AI. They hit $1.6 in January 2024, eyeing a 2025 IPO boost. European and UK scale-ups produced over half of all new SME jobs, in a landscape filled with 5% of businesses doing 50% of the hiring. The hypergrowth engine is uneven but unstoppable if you crack the code. Morgan Stanley's $1.1 GDP projection shows industrial scaling is next gold rush. Digital twins and 5G IoT will rewrite manufacturing and supply chains forever. By 2026, 75% of Global 2000 will have twins, automating multi-region production. The winners of tomorrow are the superscalers optimizing every lever. So ask yourself, is your startup ready to master every scale dimension? Or will you become another statistic in the 98%?